Hello everyone. In this video, we'll take a look at an example of an abstract class and how polymorphism can be implemented with it. So here we have an abstract class employee with two data members, name and salary. Now note that there is a constructor in our abstract class, although we don't or we cannot create objects of an abstract class till we have a constructor. Now what is the reason of having this constructor? First reason is whatever child classes that whoever creates, okay, they have to call super and pass the name and salary because we have seen in the basics of inheritance that when the parent class contains a parameterized constructor, the child class has to explicitly write a super call to the parent uh, class constructor. So the advantage of that is whatever the data members are like name and salary or whatever data members there are in the parent class, they have to be initialized by the child class. It cannot be missed or it cannot be skipped. They will be mandatorily initialized every time by every child class. Okay. The advantage of this is, let's say you're performing some validation for a valid name not to contain digits or for the salary to be within a certain limit. Valid salary will be a certain limit or valid salary cannot be negative. So if you're performing some checks or you're doing something in the constructor, that validation check will be performed in your parent class, abstract class here itself. Your child classes need not write the same code again. So it's code reuse, avoiding duplication of code. At the same time, there is consistency so that all the child classes, whenever they'll call super, the name and salary will undergo the same checks if in all the child classes. So for these reasons, we have a constructor in an abstract class, although we don't create objects of, or we cannot create objects of abstract class. Then we have abstract method to be implemented by the subclasses, that is abstract void work. And then there is a concrete method, display details, because display details will be common to all. You are just displaying the name and you are just displaying the salary. So let's say it will be common to all the child classes. So therefore, we have a normal concrete method in the abstract class. Okay, recall that if this was an interface, you would have to declare this concrete, you would have to declare this method as either, okay, here you would have to specify either default or you would have to specify uh, static. So in this case, this is a normal display details method, which will be common to all the child classes and it will simply display the details. So this was our abstract class. Now let's come to the concrete classes that implement, sorry, that extend the abstract class. So class developer extends employee. Okay, there is an additional data member in the developer class apart from the name and salary, which will be present in the developer class by the virtue of inheritance. There is a third data member, string programming language. And in the constructor of the developer, we take name, salary, and programming language, out of which name and salary we simply pass to the superclass constructor as we already discussed, and we also initialize the programming language. In the work method, name of the developer is developing software in the given programming language. Now, managers are also employees. So class manager extends employee. And in case of manager, in addition to name and salary, there is a team size attribute. Okay. So public manager in the manager constructor will take the name, salary, and team size and will pass the name and salary to the superclass constructor and will initialize the team size over here itself. Then we'll override the work method. And in the work method, what will be printed is the employee name is managing a team of team size team size number of members. Okay. Then in the main method, we create, this is where we'll see polymorphism in action. So employee, this is the employee reference, abstract class reference. Okay. Abstract class is employee and its reference employee. Okay. Now employee is pointing towards or employee contains the address of a developer object. What is the name of the developer? Arjun. Salary is 8 lakhs per month, let's say. And programming language is Java. Now, employee.display details, the concrete method from the abstract class, employee from employee dot display details. It's present in the parent class. It's not overridden in the child class, but still it's present in the parent class template. So we can call employee dot display details. And it's also present in developer automatically because it's inheritance. So it's present. So we can call display details and it will print the name and salary. Then employee dot work. Which version of work will this call? This will call the developer version of the work method. So what will be printed? Arjun is Arjun is developing software in Java. Okay, this will call the developer version of work. Now employee on line 60, employee is now pointing towards or it contains the address of a manager object with the name as Priya, salary as 9 lakhs per month, let's say, and team size is 20. Okay, so employee dot display details will display the name and salary, and then employee dot work. This will call the manager version of the work method, which will print Priya is managing a team of 12 members. Okay, now another instance of polymorphism is array. So now just like a parent class reference can hold the address of child class objects. Similarly, if you have an array which contains, so this is an array of objects. This is an array of objects that we have over here, and every element of that object, every element of that array is a subclass of employee. It's an object of the subclass of the abstract class, right? So either you have developer objects or manager objects, and developer and managers are the child classes or subclasses of employees. So parent class or superclass reference can also point towards an array of child class or subclass objects. Okay. Now what will happen in the for loop is the employee reference EMP will iterate through all the elements of the array. So in the first iteration, EMP will contain the address of a developer object and it will call the developer version of work, which will print Ravi earns a salary of 75,000, display details will print name Ravi, salary 75,000, and in work, uh, it will print Ravi is working in or developing in Python. Okay. Then in the second iteration, EMP will contain the address of the manager object and work method display details again because in display details always taking the employee class, that is the parent class version, so it's always name and salary is printed. In case of work, in the second iteration it will print the manager version. This will invoke the manager version of the work method, and it will print that Mira is managing a team of 8 members. And then again in the third iteration, EMP will contain the address of a developer object and the work method will print Anjali is developing or currently working on the programming language C++. Okay. And after every iteration, just to separate the outputs, we have a separator with hyphens. Okay. So now let's just run this. Okay. Arjun, Priya, Ravi, Meera, and Anjali. Okay. So if you have any questions, any doubts, do post them in the comments below. That's it for abstract methods, abstract classes, and polymorphism. Thanks for watching.